1. The nasal bone of A is narrower than B. This causes the eyebrow hair growth to occur closer together in the horizontal center of the superciliary arch of A compared to the wider apart eyebrows of B. 2. The eyes are closer together due to 1. 3. The bottom third of the nose is narrower in A compared to B. The nostril holes of A are rounder, more visible when viewed frontally, and those holes are closer together on A than on B. The nasal holes of A are a different shape than the nasal holes of B. 4. A's philtrum, the distance from the bottom of the nose to the top edge of the top lip, is longer than B's philtrum. 5. The lips of A are narrower on the horizontal plane than B. The top lip of A is wider on the vertical plane than B's top lip. The bottom lip of A is thicker on the vertical plane and protrudes further forward beyond the horizontal indentation below the lips compared to B. Sister Lucy Truth consulted Lois Gibson, one of the world's foremost forensic artists who holds the 2017 Guinness World Record for most identifications by a forensic artist. She has helped Houston's police force solve 1,266 crimes with her forensic work. Mrs. Gibson has provided Sister Lucy Truth with 3 separate comparison reports that, from a forensic standpoint, conclusively indicate the existence of 2 separate Sister Lucys. Confirmation of only one Sister Lucy substitute. Sister Lucy Truth commissioned forensic expert Lois Gibson for a second report to confirm whether there were multiple imposters that replaced Sister Lúcia of Fatima or only one imposter. She confirmed there was only one imposter from 1967 until her death in 2005. As explained in Our Lady of Fatima Nun Comparisons 1, 2, and 3, it appears the original nun was substituted years after her first appearance. Above I have the substitute nun shown A, at her youngest appearance. B and C are her, as she appeared older and oldest in that order. It is my expert opinion that the substitute nun is one and the same individual. Said differently, it appears the first nun was not the same woman who appeared above in later years, and was named as that same nun, meaning there was a substitution. However, there was never more than one nun substituted for the original nun attached to the miracle of Our Lady of Fatima. A and B are shown at a much different age in this photo comparison. Even taking that age difference into consideration, the drastic lighting shows that B's mental protuberance of her mandible is larger and thrusts much farther forward from her facial plane than A. The aging process would cause the mandible to shrink, not grow larger. Said more simply, the chins of A and B have a drastically different shape. This drastic difference in the mandible area shows these cannot be the same individual. There is no plastic surgery that would make A's chin look like B's chin. Differences described in 1 through 5 in Our Lady of Fatima Nun Comparison 2 also hold true in the above individuals, even considering the large age difference and the presence of glasses on B. It must be noted this writer has successfully reconstructed faces with only the skulls of unidentified murder victims and has written a textbook about this subject.
Oral Surgeon Report, by Dr. Joseph Mascaro, DMD. There is no good explanation, except two different individuals. Sister Lucy Truth commissioned Dr. Joseph Mascaro, DMD, a well-respected oral surgeon with over 40 years of experience, to analyze our full photo and video collections of the two Sister Lucys, and provide us with his expert opinion. Dr. Mascaro points out that not only are the profiles of the two individuals in nearly opposite condition, but these differences cannot be explained through dental work, and are caused by different skeletal structures of the face. Because of this medical fact, Dr. Mascaro concludes, "It is my opinion that Lucy 1 and Lucy 2 are not, and cannot be the same individual." These opinions are offered to a reasonable degree of medical certainty. From Dr. Mascaro's Oral Surgeon Report. After reviewing the photographic and video evidence over the course of several months, it is clear that Lucy 1, subject AB, and Lucy 2, subject CD, are not the same individual. Several anatomical facts support this conclusion, particularly when the profiles are compared. Retrognathic versus prognathic profiles. Lucy 1's mouth, teeth, tend to extend anteriorly, forward. In other words, her mouth area sticks out relative to her other facial structures. This is an underlying feature of Lucy 1's skeletal structure. This skeletal structure would not significantly change if all of her teeth were extracted and dentures worn. In contrast, Lucy 2's profile presents a nearly opposite condition, a prognathic profile with a concave appearance. Lucy 2's presents maxilla, upper jaw, retrusion, and mandibular protrusion. This protrusion is observable as Lucy 2's mandible, chin, is nearly parallel to the tip of her nose, a spot anterior to her nostril. Yet, Lucy 1's chin is recessed relative to the tip of her nose. The most anterior part of Lucy 1's chin is vertically aligned to a spot posterior to her nostril. Tooth extraction and dentures. Skeletal structure would not significantly change if all of her teeth were extracted and dentures worn. Dentures, which seem to be at least reasonably well fit, further support the conclusion that these images depict two different people. The presence of dentures would work to maintain the vertical dimension and prevent over-rotation of the mandible. With the vertical height maintained, there is no good explanation regarding Lucy 2's significant chin protrusion forward, when compared to Lucy 1. In addition, Lucy 2's facial height does not appear radically different than Lucy 1, which, again, supports the opinion that removal of all the teeth is unable to account for the marked change in profiles, particularly the mandibular protrusion. A skeletal, not dental, difference. A severely prognathic chin is skeletal, not dental in origin. Conclusion? During the course of my career, I have performed hundreds of jaw osteotomies, precisely planned fractures of the jaw to reposition the bones, and extracted thousands of teeth. I am familiar with expected changes to an individual's face as a result of tooth extraction and placement of dentures. It is my opinion that Lucy 1 and Lucy 2 are not, and cannot be the same individual. These opinions are offered to a reasonable degree of medical certainty.
Finding number 1. Inconsistent chins, visibly different chins, unexplainable except the individuals are different, or a chin implant. Subjects C and D, that's 1967 and after. Subjects C and D have far more prominent, protrusive chins when compared to the profile view of subject B on top, the real Sister Lucy. The difference cannot be explained by the aging process, nor can dental work account for the observed discrepancy. As we age, we lose fat and bone, making the appearance of the chin less prominent over time. The chin and jaw will not be altered in the manner apparent in the image and video, with usual dental work. It would have to be a broken jawbone or broken facial bones. Why have they been saying it's the same person for so long? Side-by-side profile view. These are the photos that the plastic surgeon picked out. Two Sister Lucy 2s on the bottom, and then the one Sister Lucy on the top. Now, I bet you never thought about eyelid creases. Look what he says. This is quoting from his report to us. It would be very unusual to not be able to detect a crease in the eyelid when an individual is young and then observe such a crease when that same individual ages. However, in images from the 1940s, it is nearly impossible to detect any crease in the upper eyelid. Yet in the post-1967 photos, the upper lid crease is observable in nearly every photograph. Here we go again. You see up there is the first one. Sister Lucy 2 is on the bottom. This is 1967 over there, and this is 1999 over here. You've got to really look.
This photograph of Sister Lucy 1 is from 1948, when she still had her teeth. As a periodontist, I can see uneven gums, extrusion of the incisors, most likely due to bone loss and periodontal disease, and crowding of the incisors. The prognosis was poor, and her dentist, Dr. Alcino Magalhaes, suggested tooth extraction and rehabilitation with dentures. What actually happened was that all her teeth were extracted and full dentures made. I noticed that Sister Lucy has a dolichofacial facial biotype, elongated oval and narrow face shape. But what strikes me is the more prominent maxilla and the more retracted mandible. This detail is best seen in the profile shots. Convex profile, prominent maxilla, and retracted mandible. In this case, when we do oral rehabilitation, we try to correct the dental discrepancy as much as possible, bringing the bite closer to normal, but the bone structure of the chin remains the same. If it is retracted, it remains retracted. That's what happened with Sister Lucy 1. The total prosthesis followed her bone structure. In 1948, Sister Lucy 1, Seer of Fatima, entered contemplative religious life and seclusion in the Carmel of St. Teresa in Coimbra, Portugal. Until 1967, she made no public appearances, being a recluse in the Carmel. Sister Lucy 2. This photograph is of Sister Lucy in May 1967, when she appeared publicly on the celebration by Pope Paul VI. I have named her Sister Lucy 2. Structural changes in the faces of Sister Lucy 1 and Sister Lucy 2. It is important to note that facial structure does not change with age. For example, a person with a retracted mandibular profile will grow old with this profile, even if wearing dentures, even if they have been worn down with use. Concave profile and mandibular prognatism. If you look closely, you can see that the anterior bite is offset. The lower teeth are in front of the upper front teeth. The structural change in the face took place between 1948 and 1967. When Sister Lucy 2 appeared in public for the first time after her aging, she maintained the same facial structure with the same prognatism and concave profile. Sister Lucy, too, was already old and had the same concave profile and mandibular prognatism. Characteristics of patients with prognatism: concave bone profile, retracted maxilla, and advanced mandible. Very old Sister Lucy, too, without her dentures and with the same prognatism profile. Conclusion. In consideration of the following question, is the individual presented as Sister Lucy in 1967 the same individual who witnessed the apparitions of Our Lady of Fatima in the year 1917? Answer. There is no doubt that these are two individuals. Based on my analysis as a specialist in the study and manufacture of dental prosthesis, I have concluded that these changes in the post-1967 individual cannot be explained by the use of dentures. The facial anatomy of the two individuals is at odds with each other. The convex facial structure, dental class 2 classification, is more evident in the pre-1967 individual. Prominent facial structure, maxilla advanced in relation to the retracted mandible. The post-1967 individual has a concave facial structure, dental class 3, a retracted maxilla, and an advanced mandible and mandibular prognatism. Full dentures are not capable of altering the anatomy of the face, especially the chin, even if teeth wear down over time.
This is a short overview of the facial math measurements of Lucy 1 and Lucy 2. Please go to the Sister Lucy Truth website to read the full forensic report. Key finding 1. The philtrum. Lucy 1's philtrum is longer than Lucy 2's philtrum, and therefore inconsistent with the aging process. The philtrum is the base of the nose to the edge of the top lip. The philtrum length gets longer with age, not shorter. The philtrum lengths differ substantially between Lucy 1 and Lucy 2, given that the eye width philtrum length ratio is significantly different. A smaller eye philtrum ratio in Lucy 1 compared to the larger eye philtrum ratio in Lucy 2 proves that Lucy 2 has a shorter philtrum than Lucy 1. This is an inconsistent finding, which is also totally at odds with the known aging process. Key finding 2. The nose. Lucy 1's nose is narrower than Lucy 2's nose. Nose width does not change with aging. Nose interalar width was examined by comparing the ratios of the nose to mouth and eye to nose. Nose to mouth ratios are substantially different. Lucy 1's mean ratio of 0.628 indicates a narrower nose as compared to Lucy 2's ratio of 0.745. The eyebrows. The distance between brow and eye differ. Eyebrows droop with age or, at most, stay in relatively the same position. The ratios below measure the distance from 1, the bottom of the eyebrow to the middle of the pupil, and 2, the bottom of the eyebrow to the top of the eyelash. Lucy 1's eyebrows are closer to her eyes compared to the older Lucy 2, findings at odds with the aging process. Stated differently, the older Lucy 2's eyebrows should be closer to her eye than Lucy 1. But in fact, Lucy 2's eyebrows are a greater distance away. Ratios comparing the bottom of the eyebrow to 1, the pupil, and 2, the eyelash, yield substantially smaller ratios in Lucy 2, which indicate much greater distances compared to the real Lucy 1. It is extremely unlikely that an older Lucy 2 would have a greater distance between the bottom of her brow to her pupil or eyelash. Note: the arch position of Lucy 1's left eyebrow actually makes it yield a more similar ratio to Lucy 2's left brow, meaning it is farther away from the eye. Consequently, this arch causes more yellows and even a green of the left eyebrow to eye ratios comparisons between Lucy 1 and Lucy 2. This asymmetrical arching of Lucy 1's left eyebrow is visible in many photographs but absent in Lucy 2. The distance between the bottom of the eyebrow to the eye is shorter in Lucy 1 compared to Lucy 2, which is contrary to the aging process. Mathematical measurements confirm expert opinions. The pre-1967 Sister Lucy is a different individual than Sister Lucy of 1967 to 2005.